Peace. How's the vibrate? Y'all know what it is. This is just a little share on insight of just seeing how, certain tarot cards, speak to certain energies. And I thought about the Ten of Cups, and the Ten of Cups is basically like Mars and Pisces. And it's uh, basically, in essence, again, the 8 card, 9 card, and 10 card is the three deacons of Pisces, dealing with the cups. So the first deacon, aka the first 10 degrees of Pisces, in essence, is closer to Aquarius. Because in essence, that's the forward motion. It goes from Aries, go all the way around to Aquarius and Pisces. And then towards the end of Pisces, it's closer to Aries. It's about to start over again and go back into the Aries energy. So, the Ten of Cups definitely speak to that. Again, it represents Mars in Pisces, but also what I realized, dealing with, a North Node. Well, my North Node is in Aries in Western astrology, and then in sidereal or Vedic astrology is Pisces. But just seeing the correlation, and even down to like when we talk about the cell salts, I thought about like working with the cell salts of the different zodiac signs. So each zodiac sign has a quote unquote cell salt or a certain again, it's basically like you could say different, because I am working on tying it and showing the connection with different crystals and minerals that connect to these elements. But it's basically like I'm trying to find the proper word for it, but element compounds in essence, like elemental. Let's just say elemental compounds to not get lost in trying to find a word for it. But again, like and you can look up the 12 cell salts and see what I'm talking about. But and the science behind this, in essence, is in our body there are 9 of the 12 cell salts, and hence why each quote unquote each zodiac sign, or each again each archetypical sign that we're born under, aka passing through the portal of a certain sun sign, certain moon sign, but again, what it goes to is the 9 months that we're in the womb. So we're in the womb, in that triple darkness, those 3 trimesters, again, for 9 months. You see that connection too, like with 3, 6, and 9 that Nikola Tesla talk about, because you got 3 trimesters, a 3-month periods within the whole 9 months. You know what I'm saying? So 3 and 9 right there, and then the 6 in essence comes in with the carbon perspective. 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, with the carbon molecule in connection with our body suits and the melanin. But with the different cell salts, you got 9 cell salts that go into your body. And again, it's not the full 12, because you're not in the womb for 12 months. You're in the womb for 9 months. So you're going to be missing 3 of those cell salts. And that creates, again, certain health standards, or certain, a certain alignment body-wise for your physical, physical, mental, emotional, and all that, because all these different elements, affects more than just the physical in essence, but you're missing 3 of those salts in essence, and bringing it to the fact that Pisces energy deals with like an iron energy. And no coincidence that hematite and, in essence, most grounding stones, but a little bit of stones that promote like the throat chakra and the dreamy energy that Pisces connect with. But more more so hematite, is a crystal that's, prescribed for the Pisces energies to, be grounded and not be, too lost in the higher chakras or in that, Neptune energy or Jupiter, Neptune and Jupiter energy, both together. And coming up in April, you do have a conjunction between Neptune and Jupiter, where it's going to be in Pisces. Now, if you do astronomy, it may be in Aquarius, you know what I'm saying? But either way it go, there's going to be a conjunction, no matter what sign it's said to be in, is going to be dealing with Neptune and Jupiter, So, because and check this out, let's say it is in Aquarius, you know what I'm saying? Jupiter and Neptune still are two planets that rule over Pisces. So even if it's not technically going to be in Pisces, it's still going to have a strong Piscean energy. Hence why those two planets are put as rulership over Pisces and not Aquarius. But with that being said, again, like tapping in with the iron energy, and in essence, the iron energy represents, again, that's the Mars energy, the iron in the blood, and the blood is the Mars energy, and as above, so below, the story being told, our Mars energy, our bloodline is created due to our, karmic cycles, you know what I'm saying? AKA Saturn energy, AKA, Saturn has rulership over the bones, and Capricorn, ruled by Saturn, deals with the bones, and blood is created deep inside like the bone marrow area. Again, the story of Saturn creating Mars and that sense of it. Now, I'm not saying, from an external perspective or just from a planetary perspective that Saturn technically created Mars, but again, just looking at the reflection or just looking at what's going on in the bodysuit, what I'm saying, our bodysuit, and if we want to, again, honor the law of correspondence fully, we would have to at least, take a look at the theory of maybe Saturn creating the planet Mars as well, or should I say, that, because again, it's more so like that energetic archetype, that energetic world, what I'm saying, like that, like a world, a Taurus field, like the world of Saturn, in essence, created the world of Mars, not necessarily like a planet physically, creating another physical planet, but just one energy creating another, from that perspective, but again, like with the Pisces energy, using that Mars energy, in order to ground itself, or should I say, using the iron energy in order to like ground itself and be here in the physical. Because again, what a Pisces is known for being, lost in the sauce. In essence, a lot of times it could be, an archetype that represents being in its own world. You know what I'm saying? Like you just like the daydreamers, the people who, and again, everything has a positive and negative to it. In certain moments, it's best to be, in that dream-like stage, or like, in that imagination, like where that imagination is just like extremely vivid. That is a beautiful thing. It's just being aware, again, like the negative aspect to that is, running away from actuality, running away from what's actually going on in your, in your experience in this plane of existence, you know what I'm saying? But, and bringing it back to, the perspective of with the Ten of Cups, the Ten of Cups is like it's like a woman and a man holding hands, in essence, with the little children playing. But it's like, Mars and Pisces, in essence, what I always feel from that card is like a manifestation of your dreams, like your dreams coming true, you know what I'm saying? Because that Pisces energy, has that Jupiter and Neptune vibe of seeing the dreams being with the wisdom and expansion, I say synchronicity and not luck, because they call Jupiter like, dealing with luck, but like the synchronicity, the expansion, the wisdom, that comes from the Jupiter energy, and with the combination of the Neptune energy, like being intuitive, because Neptune represents like also like the spirit energy, but like tapped in the spirit or the spirit realm, tapped into intuition, the imagination, you know, and again, though, the negative side to that is like where the Jupiter side is like the expansion of being like, you could be over optimistic, like you could be optimistic to the point of being delusional, you know what I'm saying? And the same thing with Neptune, like, like you could be so imaginative, so into that dreamy type of perspective to where you know, uh, you're not really paying attention to what's actually going on. Again, in some moments that's a beneficial thing, and some moments it's not, what I'm saying? Again, depends on how extreme it is and when it's being applied, what I'm saying? But just again, just all that to bring up, I guess just the close, again, like in how zodiac signs or archetypes that's on side each other, again, are closely related, even with the aspect of Pisces being more of the, again, like Pisces is the Christ energy from a perspective of wanting to help others, almost like first, like almost like a Virgo type of energy, Virgo or Libra type of energy, or Cancer type of energy as well. And Aries is the Christ energy more so from you know the morning star energy, but the Christ energy more so like the firstborn son, and again from a perspective of like a me first type of thing, like it's about me, but again, like it's still a healthy expression to the Aries energy, because the Aries energy is like, hey, I want you to do your thing and value yourself and value, doing what you love and value your passions just like I value mine. It's not necessarily, again, like a straight up selfish energy, like me, and I don't give a fuck about anybody else. More so like, hey, me, like in the sense of focusing on myself. Because again, like in order to give love to somebody else, you have to show love to yourself first, or give it to yourself, or be love for yourself first before you could be love for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So everything starts within first and foremost, and that's the message that Aries gives off. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like, you could say, closely related to also like the Capricorn energy. It's the first and only one that kind of come to mind. You know, but again, it's like you see those correlations with the archetypes being on side each other. But uh, again, as I was just realizing, so it's another thing to bring up too. If you got like a Aries North Node or Pisces North Node, you know, working with the crystals that promote passion or that Mars energy, it'd be uh, a great vibe for you to work with. Thinking about garnet, ruby, hematite. Again, most red crystals, to tap in with that Mars energy. And again, no coincidence that, what, there's iron in the blood, and when the blood oxidizes, it turns red. So you see the correlation all across the board, you know what I'm saying? But the Lamb of God that takes away the sins of the world, or the Ram of God. And again, there's no one thing that's saving, like breaking out of that energy of like, oh, the one, like the Matrix movie again, oh, the one is gonna save us, or the Christ is gonna save us, or that, like, no, it's that energy within yourself that's gonna save. Like you are the only person that could save you. I always make the joke, the only person that has to deal with, saving somebody else in that sense is a Siamese twin, like where it's like two sentient energies, and some may even argue, or not say argue, but have like a discussion of whether it is two sentience, like maybe that Siamese twin is still like one being in essence, as a spirit, on another level. But again, that's like the only type of being in this realm, in essence, that has to deal with, doing some type of work for another being, like saving another being, you know what I'm saying? But again, like we have our own bodysuit for a reason. It wasn't created. Otherwise, you would be connected physically to other people. That way, you wouldn't even have a choice, but to, like you had to help others, externally, or not say externally, but, from that perspective. Because again, everything is a balance. You help yourself, you do your inner work, then that you become a beacon to, the external realm, again, because doing inner work, again, that doesn't mean you're being selfish, being like, I realize it's straight up what it is. Like being selfish is being selfish, like there's taking care of yourself and working on your inner realm, and then there's the level of not giving a fuck about anybody. And doing your inner work doesn't mean that you don't give a fuck about nobody else, because again, you become a beacon for, because it's not about changing nobody. It is impossible to change somebody else. You could elude yourself, be in the illusion of thinking that you're helping somebody else externally, you know. But even with, again, like I'm a helper, like even with sharing information or doing Reiki work or any of that type of stuff, it takes the person to believe in it, to research it or do whatever it is for themselves, Again, a person has to believe that Reiki is possibly able to help them in order to allow you to do Reiki work on them, quote unquote. You know what I'm saying? But again, it's all, it all starts internally first and then externally, you know. But hematite, again, especially if you got the Aries or Pisces, North Node, you know what I'm saying? Or dealing with the Aries Pisces energy in general, like working with the hematite, and just that Ten of Cups energy of like, the Mars and Pisces energy, because that's almost like saying Aries, close to Aries in Pisces in essence, but, uh, having that Mars energy, also the ruler of Aries. So, again, like it's a close relation right there. And again, the Ten of Cups in tarot is the last deacon in Pisces, which is close to the Aries energy. So, definitely like just tapping in with that. But, that's the message, Again, seeing a correlation of the archetypes, understanding that whole inner workings. And again, like that's also like a completion aspect too. Pisces deal with the feet, Aries deal with the head, so, from the top to the bottom, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's basically it. Anything else to say with that? Yeah, tapping in with the hematite and the Mars energy. And again, especially, and that's one of the reasons why I feel I'm bringing up this message too, for when, that Neptune, and I think it's April 17th, when Neptune conjuncts Jupiter. So working with, also working with your grounding crystals, because as much as you're going to want to, you know, tap in and ride the wave of that imagination, dreamy, expansive, optimistic vibe, you're also going to want to have a little bit of groundingness and, a little bit of practicality, you know what I'm saying? Because also understanding that limitations is not neither good nor bad, to limit our energy is, in other words, again, this English language has so many different little correlations, But, focus, when we focusing on something, what we're doing, we limiting ourselves to one area. And again, not limiting, meaning, again, like something bad is not neither bad nor good, but in that moment, it is more of something, positive when we're talking about limiting ourselves. When I'm doing a video, I do my best to limit myself to focus on a certain area, you know what I'm saying? Or at least having my focus to just sharing the insight, and not trying to cook a meal and, and wash dishes and, and do all kind of other shit while I'm doing a video. You know what I'm saying? Like, so again, that limitation and focus is necessary, you know what I'm saying? And again, that's like with the microcosmic orbit, like we go into the liberation cycle, which is from the root to the crown, liberating ourselves spiritually, connecting. And then the manifestation. So, liberation, manifestation, liberate and manifest, going from the crown to the root, and cycling that energy, constantly, because again, what stagnant energy is energy that's not in motion. It's like it stagnates and stays in that one place. And hence why, again, learning how to be more emotionally mature and emotionally intelligent, because it's not about trying to turn our emotions off, and it's not about being extremely emotional. It's about allowing for our emotions to come up and be expressed, knowing that every emotion is valid, and allow for it again to be in motion. Because when we try to stagnate it and like not express it, or we are, again, hence why a lot of the work right now is learning how to express our emotions without harming ourselves or others. Because for the most part, society was too busy trying to mold you into a worker for a 9 to 5 and all these other things. So hence why we wasn't taught about emotional intelligence in school. You wasn't taught about that you're a source on a human experience. You wasn't taught that you have the ability to create your reality. You wasn't taught about the subconscious mind and working with your imagination, and and the fact that, again, that you have the ability to create, or wasn't taught about meditation. The list goes on and on, but you get the picture. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we're learning these things right now, and being your best friend, because nobody else could love you like you could love you, and what you're dealing with more than anybody else. Of course, we got plenty of psychic brethren and sistren who are, who are aware of the certain things that others may be going through, so there's people who, again, that's empaths, and, they could sense your energy, and in essence, and speaking of the Pisces energy, have a good idea of like what it feels like to go through something that they may have never even been through, or at least in this lifetime. But at the same time, again, uh, nobody knows you better than you knows you. That's say it right, better than you know you. So again, like definitely tapping in. But peace, peace. What it is, not too far in the future, not too far in the past.